Remember my name and all I became. The fortune and fame from shackles and chains. My spirit won't break. Never let.
Today, we wanted to unpack the ultimate shortcut for success. Anthony Robbins said this, and I heard this quote about 15 years ago, and it's always stuck with me. If you want to do something, no matter what you want to do, find somebody who's already done it, find somebody who's already got to the top of the hill, and really just model how they did it. Ask them how they did it. Learn how they did it. There's so many things that us as entrepreneurs can learn from other business owners that have gone ahead and taken the lumps, dude. They've rolled the dice on the paid ads. They've tried the certain funnels. They've made the wrong turns. They've blown up hiring or HR. I think this is the ultimate shortcut to get where you want to go. Find somebody who's already there and ask them how they did it. Jason, what does this mean to you?
It's exactly what I did. So I was stagnant in my business as an entrepreneur with my uncle's roofing company for like 5, 6, 7 years, several years. And I learned the trade of roofing, but I didn't learn the other skills that I needed to.
Sure.
Until I decided to go to Nick's office and ask him for a book to learn more. And I said, hey, Nick, you have the brick and mortar, you have the BMW, you have the big brown leather couches or chairs. I want to get there one day. What do I do? So you hand me a book and say, here's the tax rule. Read this. Okay, cool. And from there is history. But what I did was I went to you at the time, right? That was doing more than I was. I know you were making more than me. I know that you had several employees. I was an employee. I wasn't a business owner yet. I was running a sales team. We were doing millions of dollars of revenue, but I wasn't the owner. I was just a sales manager and even just the production manager at times. So what I decided was I want to, what do I do to get to that next level? And I said, okay, well, instead of me just like going onto YouTube, like, what do I do? I found this guy named Grant Cardone, and he's like, hey, he wasn't a billionaire at the time, right? But I said, hey, I want to freaking do something with my life, and I'm missing something, right? Like really good at roofing, know my shit, but I'm like, dude, I want to be a business owner one day. What do I need to do to develop these skills in order to be a business owner, in order to open a business, start a business, run a business, hire employees, and run a successful company? And so I said, instead of going to YouTube or trying to do, I literally just said, okay, cool. Find out who's doing it, right? And so I started asking my uncle. I started asking other friendly competitors in the roofing space. And I never asked somebody that was doing less than me, not in a dick way, right? But I've already passed them on the experience and the knowledge side. So I wanted to level up, and I needed to go to somebody that is already doing or had already done what I wanted to do and pick their brain. 95% of people, as long as you're cool with it and cordial and respectful about it, they will share their most deepest secrets of success with you. Just like Grant. He's like, here's everything. 98% of you are going to do it. 2% of you are, and I'm not scared of you guys whatsoever, right? And that's been my biggest takeaway is go find whatever you want to do, whatever you're stuck on, whether it's ads, whether it's leads, whether it's getting attention, whatever that looks like, go find somebody that is killing that has past tense experience in doing that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think there's this mindset, though, of us as entrepreneurs that we're the first entrepreneur to ever go. We're the first one to ever have a social media profile. We're the first one to ever edit video, and that we have to go do it all by ourselves. And we have to go learn it our way. I don't know what it is about that. I was the same way. When you realize that there's a whole group of people out there, the mountain that you're trying to climb, they're already on top of that mountain and they're on the next 4 behind it. And they can share with you, hey, don't take a right, take a left here. Watch out for the snakes here. Watch out for this. But we automatically default to, well, I'm going to go try to grind this out on my own. Whereas you could just ask somebody who's already up there, and honestly, they'll reach down like a Sherpa who's already been up Everest. They'll grab you and pull you up with you. Big thing to note here, though, is you got to find somebody who's climbing the right mountain. To me, I think there's this world with TikTok and live streams and access to technology. Everybody's teaching something. So I think you have to be very cautious of the person teaching. Have they done this for themselves or have they done this for other people? Hey, Jason, I got a fun little trivia for you. Okay. What does a fat personal trainer and a donut have in common?
One has a hole, one doesn't. I have no idea.
A fat personal trainer eating donuts, trying to teach you to lose weight. He doesn't walk his own talk. That's the analogy that I have, is I think so many people, and I'm not judging, so many people are brand new in content creation and they're brand new to TikTok. They're sharing stuff as if it's gospel. But more importantly, you're consuming that content as if it's gospel. And it's very similar to a fat personal trainer eating donuts trying to teach you their workout regimen. Brother, if it works so well, you'd be taking it. You know, it's the same kids that cold DM you on Instagram to get you to blow up your business using paid ads. Well, brother, you're not even running paid ads yourself. You know, there's nothing worse than a coach that coaches to coach and teaches you to coach to coach to coach. It's become my big thing is, so many people want to call themselves a life coach or whatever. And I'm like, brother, you ain't even lived this yourself. Go get results for yourself. So as we're talking about the shortcut to success, find somebody who is living the life that you seek or building the business that you seek. I think that's a big thing, is look at somebody that's going where you want to go. I'll give you an example. When I got into real estate, I was 19 years old. I wanted to have this big company. I wanted to sell a couple hundred homes so I could go follow the realtor selling 15 homes per year, or I could go follow the realtor selling 300. And I joined my mentor when I was 19 and he was selling 300 homes. And I give a lot of credit to this day because of that mentorship. I didn't go follow the kid that was 5 home sales above me. I went and followed the one that was where I truly wanted to be a decade later, right? And I was able to learn and get very uncomfortable, but I was able to learn a lot of processes, a lot of systems, a lot of marketing avenues from somebody at that next stage. I know for you too, you model Tommy Mello, who's at hundreds of millions of dollars, right? You might be doing, you know, you just passed 30 million in your company. You're doing $1 million a month. I know you started studying people that are at 5 million and 10 million. No offense. You're not studying somebody that's doing 300 grand in their business because that's an average week for you. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. That's payroll and my suppliers in like 10 days. So that's been one of my biggest things is you can always learn something from somebody. So even someone that's doing $3 million in a business and I'm doing 10, I can learn something from. That's where the humility part comes in, right? Always knowing that you can always learn a nugget from them. But in regards to like scaling your business and going to the next level, those guys don't know what to do because they've never done it, right? They may like have books, they might have ideas, they might have all these, you know, basically literally just ideas at this point or thoughts, but there's been no implementation because they haven't done it themselves. So why would I take that person seriously or take their advice seriously when I can't really trust it because it's never been proven, right? And so that's the biggest thing, like with our book, where would I put it? Our 8 Phases to 8 Figures book, right? Bam, right there. That book literally shows you how to do $10 million, past tense, right? We're on track to do. I already posted it yesterday. I always post a screenshot of my CRM. You saw it yesterday, right? Literally, all my sales reps, the total dollar amount, 1.1 million in September of 2023, right? That's what you want. That's why I love our mastermind. That's why I love getting together. The biggest other part, Nick, is you want to make sure you get advice from the right people, but you also want to make sure you get advice from the right circle. And we've heard this before, but it's been to me, it's been more impactful now in the past 24 months than ever in my entire life of never be the smartest guy in the room. And the reason why is because if you are the smartest guy in the room, you are going to have capacity issues. And when you have capacity issues, you lose momentum. And when you lose momentum, you go backwards, not forwards, or you stay stagnant. And that's why when you have our mastermind, I say it every day on social media. If you come to the mastermind, I'll give you 6 figures of ideas, strategies, and things to implement into your business. And I'm going to put you in a room of 30 to 40 other business owners that are like-minded, right? That want to work on their health and their fitness, that are wanting to scale and implement systems, and they're hiring and they're growing and they're scaling and they're on fire and they're all going this way. That is the power of being in that community. Massive collaboration. We probably are already over 7 figures in referrals just in the past 120 days. from passing business back and forth, because there's a level of trust there. You want to support everybody, and we're, as a community, we're all growing. But you don't have somebody that's like a solopreneur that hasn't done anything. You're literally business owners that are trying to grow and scale your business, and there's 30 or 40 of us in there, and we can really feed off of each other in a very positive, influential way. And whenever you go to come to one of our masterminds, we have them on a monthly basis. Whenever you come to a mastermind, you will never be the smartest person in the room unless you're doing over 10 million.
So
and even then,
what you're getting into is the oldest quote in the book that I used to think was such kind of like, oh, that's just one of the old quotes. You were the average of the 5 people you spend time with most. And it's so funny, as I'm getting older, it becomes the most true thing ever. You hang around 5 millionaires, you become the 6th. You hang around 5 broke asses, you become the 6th. You hang around 5 drunks, you become the 6th. You hang around 5 fit people, you become the 6th. You hang around 5 people that love their spirituality and love their wives. That you see what I'm saying? Because they're different conversations that happen. They're different conversations on the text chains. They're different conversations on really what they post on Facebook, like what they post on social media, the podcast they listen to, the content that comes out of their mouth. You could just go on and on and on. And I think in the world that we're in, and why I'm excited for this call today, you and I, in this live stream, is it almost like be protective of the content that you're consuming. Jim Rohn said this: you have to stand on guard to the gates at the doors to your mind. And what that means to me is, in this world of content consumption, right? You're on people's email chains and podcasts and TikTok. I'm very leery, like very cautious of the people that I follow, because you don't know who they are. And like anybody can create a really flashy TikTok or a reel. And so I'm very hypersensitive to go to the source and go, what's this person's background? What do they sell? Are they somebody that I believe in? Do they represent my core values? Have they done it before? And I think that that's really important to understand. I'll give you a funny story for you. I was coaching some real estate agents, and they had this call coming up, and they're like, hey, we got these big guys coming onto the call on Monday. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be awesome. These big players who I thought were big players are going to be teaching this class. Jason, in my mind, I automatically defaulted to like, they've got to sold 1,000 homes in their career, right? Like, of course, if they're teaching a class. So I asked one of the realtors attending the call, I said, hey, dude, like, how many homes has that group sold? And he goes, dude, they barely sell 2 to 3 homes per month. And I went, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, but they're the top producers in this group. If the top person in your group is selling 30 homes per year, you need to find a new group, bro. And I was just like, but what's interesting is, if I didn't know any better, I would come as a brand new agent or whatever, listening to every word that came out of their mouth as gospel, but that might not be where you want to go. Now, if you're trying to sell 2 to 3 homes per month, hell, that is gospel. And I'm not trying to knock that. I think making a couple $100,000 in your real estate career is an awesome business. But could you also learn from somebody selling a couple 100 homes per year? Yeah. And it really comes down to, where do you want to go, right? Who are the people that you're following, right? But more importantly than that, Jason, I think even if they've gotten results for themselves, is that the business or life that you want to lead? And I think that this is so important, dude. I don't get impressed by guys talking about their millions anymore if they work 100 hours per week and they treat their family like shit or their body like shit. Do you want to touch on this? I think this is a big deal, because there's so many ways to market yourself, build a brand, build a business, get attention. Do you want to touch on how you're doing it with a purpose? I think this is really important to understand.
Yeah, well, what happens is you got to know like what your priorities are. And a lot of us, we get them fucked up. We just do. We don't understand. We let other people and other influences dictate who we. Okay, it's different for everybody. That's what I try and help other people understand, is that in this order is, it's you and your relationship with God and yourself, then your spouse, if you have a spouse, then your kids, if you have kids, then your business. But a lot of us, there's a lot of young single guys and girls that come to our community that are in our mastermind, and they don't have a spouse or kids yet. They're not in that phase in their life. But what they do is they're overweight, they drink like crazy, they party like crazy, right? And they're doing all these things. They might be making money, but they're not making their personal life a priority, right? And so they're wondering, why am I not in a position to maybe to get married, or maybe to do this or do that? It's like, well, what are you doing right now to put yourself in that position? What are you doing right now to get your shit together? Because people want this person that's amazing and beautiful and wonderful and have all the shit together, but then we don't. It doesn't make sense, right? You're going to attract what you are like. And so what it comes down for me and what I love about it is you got to know what your priorities are and don't let them ever get skewed. Now, there is a season where you need to put in the work. You need to grind your ass off in order to build your business. Totally get it. I did that. But what I did is I sold my wife on the vision, on the dream, and on the mission.
You freeze up, buddy?
Am I still here?
Yeah,
I did not stop being a dad. And for but what I did not do is I did not put the work in for myself. So I tried to maintain my marriage, tried to maintain my relationship with my kids. But what I did not do, which sucks, is I did not keep myself a priority. And I put on like 25 to 30 pounds.
Yeah, but I think the conversation that we're having here, though, right, is you are influenced by the gurus you follow, by the content you consume, all the above. Well, what happened for you and I a few years ago was you and I shifted from certain content creators into a guy like an Andy Frisella who teaches 75 Hard. Because we shifted our influence and the people that we looked up to and emulated, we went and did 75 Hard. Because we shifted who we look up to, you and I shifted to a guy like an Andy Elliott who's in ridiculous shape, who values his body, who values his marriage. And we started associating ourselves around people like that, right? And I think that's what I'm getting at is when we're talking about the shortcut to success is you want to find somebody who's already done it, but are they living what you want to live? I'll give you an example. I had a mentor really, really, really early on that influenced me in a good way and then a bad way and then in a really good way. He worked literally like 80, 90, 100-hour weeks. He was always in a fresh pressed suit and tie. And I'd be in the office on a Saturday. I'm 19, 20 years old. I got no family. He does. He's got a big ass mansion, but like, there he goes. Saturday night, 7 o'clock at night, he's in the office. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing. But looking back now, that's not the life that I want to live. I'd rather build a business that I don't have to be at 100-hour weeks. And don't hear me wrong here. There are weeks when you get out of whack and all the above. But dude, this guy would show up Saturday evenings, Sunday evenings. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit if you have a mansion. If you can't go enjoy your life, you're miserable. I don't want to put on a shirt and tie at 7 o'clock at night. And for him, it worked. For me, it didn't. So I follow a lot of people and I take advice from people that have a lifestyle business. To me, time freedom and location freedom is very important. That means a lot to me in my life. I love surfing. I love the ocean. So I will model myself around marketers and business owners and take advice from people that value their time freedom, their location freedom. That's important to me, but I've designated that, right? It's important to me to follow somebody who values date night, who values time away from the business, who values time with their kids, who values time for their body. So all the stuff that they share via social media, via their email, via their podcast is about their mindset, right? And then there's the other side of read your face off, work 190 hours per week and grind, you little bitches. That's fine. And I think that works for some people. I don't want that toxic stuff in my life. I want somebody that has more value, more of a balanced business. So I think what we're getting at here in the shortcut to success is find somebody who's achieved what you want to achieve, but how you want to achieve it based on your internal core values, then model what they did and start studying and learning from them.
I think
Yo, Jace, while you're frozen up, guys, hey, if you're tuning in the live group right now, if you comment Scale Book below, we're going to be giving away digital copies, ebook copies of our new book, Scale. If you comment Scale Book below, and if you're listening to us on the podcast, guys, go to scale8book.com, scale, the word scale, number 8, scale 8, which is our book, scale8book.com, and you guys can download a free copy. We're on this really goodwill tour where Jason and I wrote the Scale Book, and we just both dissected how we both cleared 8 figures in our businesses and put that into an 8-phase system. So we're on this mission to just share and serve you guys. And so if you go to scale8book.com, you can grab that or just comment Scale Book below. Jason, go ahead. Having some internet issues, not a problem whatsoever. I can hold this right here. So what I would just challenge you to do, if you're watching the replay, you're watching live, or you're even on the audio version, is look at where you want to go, whether that's income-wise, marketing-wise, followers-wise, content creation-wise, life-wise, location-wise. Where are you trying to go? Who's there already? And what can you do to learn from them? You would be shocked what a shortcut calling somebody for 5 or 10 minutes is. I just had somebody say to me yesterday, he called me on a sales funnel question and he goes, dude, this took you 5 minutes, didn't you? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you realize that took me like a week's worth of work to find out, right? I go, yeah, but I'm not that special. I've just gone before you when it comes to Kajabi or email marketing, right? I called up our traffic guy. And one phone call. Oh no, we're going to do this, this, and this, right? And he's working on our Facebook pixels. Somebody's already been there, right? We can call it Coach Nate, our personal trainer. Yo, what's my diet look like? And he's going to boom, boom, boom. He's just lived it. So instead of trying to do things the hard way and try to figure this all out on your own, they don't give you more of an award by going at it the hard way. You're going to get there one of two routes, right? Instead of fighting upstream, I'd rather just surround myself and get a bunch of really cool people in the boat that have all been there before and can point out the right way to go and go with the flow. Jace, go ahead.
Yeah, that's been kind of one of my biggest things is, so like there's no shortcut to success. And I'm like, no, there is. You're 100% full of crap. And that's what we all do. Just like Elon Musk says, like, well, I don't have a degree from Harvard, but that guy does, Carl does, that guy does, and they all work for me, right? So when you can truly understand that, you need to just find out everybody, like you will be a jack of trades and master of none, right? I hear the word general contractor and I cringe because I hear general contractor. I'm like, you probably know how to do any of one of those trades perfectly, but you can like manage it, but you don't know how to do everything well. And so what they do is they will bring in, think yourself as a contractor in your business. As a general contractor, this is a great analogy. As a general contractor in your business, the actual general contractor does not the hammer to dig the hole, does not pour the concrete, do the electrical, that general contractor is the overseer of all those moving parts. And what he does is he grabs all of the grades from each and every individual trade, grabs the best electrician, the best plumber, the best roofer, the best landscaper, the best framer, and he puts them all into place at the right time to build a beautiful multi-million-dollar home. But what he doesn't do is like, hey, I'm going to go to Home Depot, I'm going to grab a box of nails and the best nail gun and the best, and I'm going to frame this bitch by myself. He would never do that. Why? Because he's going to build it wrong. He's not going to do it right. He's not going to do it fast enough. He's going to lose money trying to frame it, right? So that's why you don't do that. That's why he would sub out his framer.
I think you just summed up most, in my opinion, new content creators that try to go figure out how to learn video editing, learn captions app, like learn all this stuff when there's somebody that's already lived it. Like go just talk to that person and they're either going to do it for you or teach you how. And to me, this is like the coolest hack for success. Find somebody who's there, ask them how the hell they did it. And that's it. Now, with that being said, be very cautious of who that person is because a lot of people can do really cool stuff with good lighting and a high-end camera on TikTok. Trust me. I wish people walked around with like this like stat log above their head. Like there's like a bubble and it's like, hey, I've closed this many sales. Here's what I do. And it tells you they're behind the scenes because a lot of people do try to hide that. Right. And it's like, most dudes that have done good stuff, like they don't hide it. Like you can tell, right? It's funny when we were talking about the book, somebody's like, dude, how did you boys write that book in less than 2 weeks? Well, we lived it I lived it for 19 years. Like if I can't tell you the story of how I built my first 7-figure business, I don't have the right to be writing the book. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't.
Right. And you're an author and you've helped a dozen other people write books already. So it wasn't like, hey, AI, how do I write a book? Like that was never your jam. Yeah. You've already been doing that. Like you literally can hold up published authors' books that you help write a book. You've already written your book. You've already written a book. So all you and I did. So what did I do? I want to write a book. Hey, Nick, I need help writing a book. I didn't go to YouTube and say, how do you book? I said, hey, Nick, 1, you've written a book. 2, you've helped people write a book. 3, will you help me write a book? And there's 2 ways of doing it. I want to make sure people understand that because if you pay everybody to do it, you might not have the budget to do it as you're growing your business, right? Cash flow might be an issue. Funds might be an issue. So what you do, most professionals will have do it by yourself or do it for you. right? And so if you do it by yourself, it's normally like an ebook, it's a video, it's how to put the shit together, right? It's like IKEA. Here's the instructions how to put it together. Or you hire a handyman, get instructions, say, okay, Mr. Handyman, here's the instructions, and you're going to put it together because I don't want to put it together. That's what I did. Funny enough, you remember this. This was before you and I partnered up. I asked you about, I'm like, dude, I was like, my content's good, but like the way you do your stuff and the graphics, the lighting, and the ins and outs and everything. I'm like, dude, I was like, hey, what software do you use so that I can do it too? He's like, Jason, you literally told me this. I don't even remember this. Jason, you can do it yourself. He's like, it's taken me years and years and hundreds of hours of practice. That's why I do it very fast and I'm very good. And you said, I'd rather just hire like a Fiverr person or hire you to do it, or like sub it out, find somebody else out. You literally told me, don't spend all the money and all energy trying to do it yourself when I can go make more money and just pay somebody to do it. Cue Dakota, right? And that's really what it comes down to.
You're unpacking. This is truly my mindset currently on shortcutting success in every area of your life, right? Meaning if you want to get fit, you're going to have to spend money to the personal trainer because he's 20 years ahead of you. He's 10 years ahead of you, right? He already has the degree. He's already been through the books. So for me, hiring a trainer for $200 a session or $1,000 for a month or whatever, I'm able to gain the 500 grand that he's invested into his knowledge. I'm able to get that on a daily basis and take what would take me years to learn and learn that in 90 days with building a funnel. I've been building sales funnels. Hear my point though, right? Go ahead.
Insane. You're killing it. Go ahead. It's just stupid. Nate Palmer, right? Coach Nate, written a book, has a podcast with like over 1 million followers. We're absolutely shredded because you just talked about vetting. Well, in the health and fitness space, it's a $1 trillion industry, right?
Right.
So there's thousands of them at your fingertips, literally within your zip code that do it. But what I would do is have you ever written a book about what you do? Yes or no? Do you have a podcast about what you do? Yes or no? What does your social media content look like? Yes or no? Right. And then also take your shirt off in the health and fitness space as a trainer.
That's it.
You check all those boxes. You got my money.
But I think that's the thing that like my mindset shifted a few years ago. Find somebody who's already there, then invest a little bit of money in to get that knowledge because they're not going to give it to you for free. Like they have a life, they have a business or whatever. If I want a high-end funnel, you can go spend years trying to perfect that funnel or pay somebody a couple $1,000, $3, $4, $5 grand who's already proven those frameworks to work, right? He's already tested it. But here's the thing nobody pays attention to. That kid's invested $1 million into that funnel over the decade. He's invested $1 million. He's ran $1 million of paid ads through Facebook. I can go play Facebook advertiser with some cute YouTube videos, or I can literally cut down the learning curve for a few $1,000 or $1,000 a month retainer or whatever. And I've now gained his 10 years of expertise. So now I'm a master in video. I'm a master in sales funnels. I'm a master in paid traffic for a few $1,000. And I've learned this inside of 90 days. To me, this is truly the ultimate shortcut. Like I could reach out to you, Jason, right now and say, yo, dog, how did you hire 70 employees? Give me your 7-figure playbook, right? And yeah, you have a mastermind that people can invest in, but that's how you're going to share your advice, right? It's like, you're not just going to go, well, why don't you share this shit for free? Well, dude, time's money, right? And if I have to go spend hours with you away from my family, my kids, going to the dunes or surfing, it's got to be, has to be an exchange of monetary gain here, right? There's got to be an exchange of value to get that advice.
Think about it with roofing, right? Like, Nick, there's asphalt shingles in San Diego. You literally could YouTube, or I could like walk you through how to put on an asphalt shingle roof yourself. It might leak. You might get some bloody knuckles. You might fall off the roof. There's a lot of variables involved, right? But it's like, how does Jason so easy? How does Jason 10 to 15 roofs a week and make it look flawless? I just did simple math. I've installed over 10,000 roofs in 14 years. It's like, well, so how am I so good at it? Well, repetition, man. And like you said, I spent millions of dollars on learning the trade, getting the craft, finding the right people, finding the right tools, the right products, finding the right systems, and then finding the right people to do it and do it very, very well and very efficient. And that's what it really comes to. And that's how so just figure that out. Like, you would never go put it on your own roof. Could you? Like, Nicholas Trevelyan is not a dumbass. You literally could put on your own roof if you had to. If you absolutely had to, and others died and we got the plague and you had the leak and you had to go fix it, you really could do it yourself. With YouTube and with Home Depot, you could literally put it on your own roof. However, it would take you 10 times as longer, 10 times more money, and you'd probably bleed, put a staple through your foot and maybe even fall off the roof. But it's like, at what point, instead of just cut me a check and in 2 days done, you know what I mean?
Hey, you got a pair of pliers at home? You have a pair of pliers?
A pair of pliers at home?
Yeah.
Sure.
Most people have a little whiz kit of like a little, like, little like Swiss Army knife thing with like pliers, right? You can grab those pliers and pull out one of your teeth at home. You absolutely could. But I tell you what, I'd much rather go to a dentist who's got a little bit of freaking tools there, knows how to numb me up. You can accomplish the same goal. That's what I'm getting at, dude. And so my new mindset, the pathway to success isn't learn everything all at once by yourself. Go find somebody who's already achieved that and done that the way that you believe in, right? That represents your core values. Model what they did. And if they have something to invest in that, because you're going to give yourself a 10-year education inside of 30, 60, 90 days and have them guide you through the process, man. So, hey guys, we're going to wrap up the live stream right now. Hope you learned something from this. If you do, drop us some love, whether that's in the comments below or on our Instas or Instagram or whatever.
This is my world, it cannot be right. You can't rock my world, son. Took a lot of work just to reach the top.